So on tonight's homework, and we're working into now multiplication and division. So one of the ways that we talk about multiplication as divisions is arrays or building squares to cover the space. So when your student is finding perimeter, perimeter has a couple different models that you use. You can do side plus side plus side, where you'd find the measurement of each length of side, each length of side, each length of side, and add those up. The other idea for perimeter is you can take both the length, so if we think about this is the length and this is the width, you could say take 2 of the length, so that's 2 times the length, plus 2 times the width. And that will also tell you the distance around. So perimeter is always going to be the distance around. All right, so when your student is finding distance around, they're going to want to count the squares and find each length. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on the length, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the width. So they would just count the boxes that cover the distance. So that's perimeter. When students are trying to find area, the model is different. To find area, we're looking for, instead of around, we're looking for the space taken up by the shape. So when you think about the space taken up by the shape, the thing that you're going to want to do is find the area it covers. So one of the older models for younger kids is they'd count the squares that it takes up, but your students have learned a formula. And the formula for area is going to be the length times the width. So earlier when we counted this, we saw this was 8 and this was 5. So for students to find the area, they know the length is 8. The width is 5. When they multiply, they'll find out how many squares are covered in this area. So that should help you find the perimeter. Remember, is side plus side plus side plus side. Area is length times width. Another area where your child may be struggling a little bit is where we know the area, but we're missing a measurement. So we taught them today this algebraic thinking idea, where if they know area formula is length times the width, they're simply going to replace what they know and solve for the variable. So if we look, for instance, at B on problem 4, you'll see we know the area that's given to us in the middle, 25. We know the length is 5, but we see here this variable that we're solving for. So we're going to leave the variable w there and solve. So we'd say to ourselves, 25 is equal to 5 times what? Or what variable will fit there? Once your student knows that, they can solve for x. The other thing that you can think about is if you know this is here, we know when we're solving for multiplication, we're missing it, the opposite operation can solve. So we can think of it 25 divided by 5 will also find our solution. When you get down to problem 6, this is going to get a little more challenging. We're going to use the same formulas. First, I would solve for area, find all the possible ways to find the area, and then see if you can solve for perimeter. We worked on this in class, so what you should do is maybe create a little table where you can fill in all the possibilities for length and width. So if we remember our formula, area equals length times width. In this case, we want to find all the possible ways to get 32. So one way would be 4 times 8. Another way would be 1 times 32. Another way would be 2 times 16. So once your student has found all the possible ways, they have to figure out from these measurements which is going to give us a perimeter of 24. To solve for perimeter, remember, we're doing 2 lengths plus 2 of the width. So here for perimeter, I would say 2 times 4 plus 2 times 8, and add those up. This is going to be 8. This is going to be 16. That gives me a perimeter of 24. So this actually works for this one. If I didn't get it on my first try, I would try the next couple. So maybe I would say 1 and 32, because that's another one that I tried. But if I multiply here, my answer is 2 plus 64. That would give me a perimeter of 66, which does not match this perimeter I'm looking for. So it's a matter of first finding all the possible ways to get the area, and then solving each one for perimeter.